feel like we all permanently live in a South Park episode now, and I really don't like it.
So I'm live right now with 42,000 people on Instagram. What do you want to say to my audience?
I made an app called Parallel Live that makes it look like you're live streaming with tens of thousands of people watching to see how people treat you differently when they think you're famous.
And immediately they started filming me. I think Drake just joined. Drake, come live with us. Drake.
But then the girl that was flirting with me tried to upgrade to Drake.
Come over.
Luckily, she got over it quickly. I then went home and took a nap. I then went back out to the most exclusive art gallery in Miami where tickets are $1,000. So I'm live right now with 24,000 people on Instagram. I was wanting to come check out your art event. Not only did he let me in,
This is just for the VIP art collector.
he then introduced me to the celebrities that were there. Absolutely. About 18,000 people watching. They were shouting out their people. Then I became the celebrity and people wanted to be in my live stream. This day felt like something out of a movie. If you want to experience what it's like to be famous, check out my app Parallel Live.
People don't even care about your personality or your interests as a human being anymore in order to come up and talk to you. As long as you consistently have 40,000 people on an Instagram live, none of that matters. And the fact that he can just waltz into the VIP section of this art gallery and meet celebrities that no normal person would be allowed to do if they didn't have those tens of thousands of people watching them on an Instagram live. And that disturbs me to my very core, because all it tells people is that if you can fake being famous, you can bypass literally anything you want without having to prove who you are. And I found it especially wild how in the description of this app, if you want to make it look like you have 100,000 viewers and pretend like you're receiving monetary gifts, that's a premium upgrade you have to pay real money for. So instead of putting that real money towards something that is actually important, like groceries or bills or rent or emergency savings for the future, it's being put towards faking receiving monetary gifts that don't actually earn you any money that you pay real money for from AI generated people that aren't real that you won't see a return on. What the hell are we doing anymore? Also, people are using this app to pick up girls. So romance just doesn't exist anymore, I guess.
My future isn't a distant vision.
It begins here and now. My all-new TM7.
Now, before we continue with that video, I want to play a game with you all. So clearly, this is a reveal of some sort, and people are incredibly excited for it, to the point where they're screaming and cheering. So it must be something amazing, right? Is it a new car? Is it a house? Is it a new phone? Is it some brand new, never before seen technology that will change the course of human history forever? Take your guesses before the video continues, because you will not guess what it is. I can promise you that. So, did anybody guess that was for a blender? All of this screaming, all of this cheering, all of this applauding, all of this conundrum of people recording this reveal with their phones, and a cameraman walking around with a giant camera on his shoulder recording people's reactions like this is some life-changing technology, and it's all for a Thermomix blender. Yay! Wow! I'm so impressed. I'll just let us sit in silence for a second to really think about that, okay? I don't know if we're all just so easily fooled by marketing now because that editing made it seem like it was otherworldly technology, or if we're all just so incredibly bored and empty existing in our current modern world because there aren't any new inventions anymore. So we cheer over the most mundane appliances that have existed for over a century now. This blender will literally be on clearance in Target within the next 2 years. So why the hell are people reacting like this? I swear, y'all will lose your minds over some damn salt and pepper shakers at this point. Then we have this girl at a doctor's appointment and she's nervous that she's in trouble because her literal cardiologist is asking ChatGPT questions about this young girl's heart, as if that isn't the literal cardiologist's job. And do you know that people were defending this? Damn, sorry they don't remember 5+ years of education. What exactly were they doing for over 5 years then? That just seems like a complete waste of time to me if you're just going to use ChatGPT in every single patient's appointment. Why is this being used as an excuse now when doctors have been able to successfully diagnose and treat their patients without using AI for decades and decades? All this will do is make doctors lazy, and that is incredibly scary because they are quite literally putting our lives, our health, and our well-being in the hands of artificial intelligence. You know what? I wouldn't be mad because at least I know I'll get answers and the proper solution. Thank you, ChatGPT. I would be mad for several different reasons. Firstly, did you know that the average cost of a doctor's appointment in the United States, if you can't afford health insurance, is anywhere from $150 to $600 depending on what your problem is? And you're okay with paying $200 to sit down for no more than 10 minutes while you watch a doctor use ChatGPT on his computer listing the possible causes and diagnoses instead of actually having the doctor do his job. And this should make everyone mad because this is becoming a trend in the medical field. Either people are using ChatGPT to get their degrees, or they're planning to use ChatGPT in the future to get their medical certificate so that they can cheat their way through half a decade of school and continue to cheat their way through the medical field when seeing patients. I know that doctors aren't always accurate or precise, but if you think AI is the answer, you don't have a single working brain cell left in that thick skull of yours, because AI is even worse. I went to Google and typed in the symptoms I was experiencing while I had my brain tumor, and here are the answers that they gave me, because Google is entirely reliant on AI now. It gave me results for an exertion headache, a migraine, a concussion, or a sinus infection. That is because AI isn't a human being, and they can't sit down with you in person like doctors can to do a process of elimination, examining your current health and your previous health before you started suffering these problems, asking you more in-depth questions about the problem that you're facing, learning more about your family's medical history, and either prescribing you medication or giving you a referral to another clinic that you need to visit.
Essential cybersecurity platform for the era of AI. Supercharge your AI with the right data. 3,764 customers. Finn is the leading AI customer service agency. Nextdoor powers local data plus AI. Databricks. Oh, hi, Gemini. That's also AI. Let's see. Is there more AI? Everything's AI. Of course, it's what AI was meant to be. Who's the real good boy? It's real or AI? Which one's real, which one's AI? Could you seek interfaces together, AI? More pipeline, less payroll. Hyper the AI SDR. Oh my god.
You genuinely cannot escape this. I mean, they're even starting to call it the era of AI. Like, that isn't the most daunting sentence that you could put on a billboard in front of people who are making their way to work. You used to watch cyberpunk movies when you were a kid, and you'd think to yourself, oh, life would never be like that. It's just a silly movie. And then it is like that. As you're driving on the freeway home back from your 9 to 5 that you literally have no other choice but to work at, while seeing that the government and all of these billion-dollar tech corporations tell you that your job is being replaced as we speak so that they can have free labor. That is what you're seeing on the way to your job, that you are being replaced. That is the current reality of our world right now, and that is terrifying.
Amazon Renter Hacks. This is a tiny device that can stick onto a switch and has an app that activates the arm and can turn any regular light switch into a smart switch. It also comes with an attachment that you can stick onto a light switch so you can turn it on and off.
Can you imagine being this lazy? Amazon is teaching us to not even stand up from our own beds in our bedrooms to turn off our light switches anymore. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a giant waste of resources and your money. Not only should human beings now already be getting up so much more than we already are because of how sedentary our lives have become because of iPhones, but we all should be recognizing this product for what it actually is. Not a rent-a-hack, but Amazon creating solutions to problems that do not exist so that you will keep spending your hard-earned money. This useless thing is literally $40 on Amazon. And not only does it get terrible reviews, like people complained it's terrible for Wi-Fi despite running on it, people complained that it's cheap junk and doesn't work as described, and people said that it doesn't even connect to their app and wouldn't even turn on. But this dumb cube doesn't even work on all switches. So you pay $40 for what? This product is genuinely garbage, especially if you live in a house that was built before 2015. POV, your obsession with perfection drives you to buy the most ridiculous but incredible tools. And it's literally just a mini spatula to push the books in her shelf back. So tools like this go up to $30 on Amazon. Does nobody want to be savvy or crafty anymore to save a buck? Can we only solve the most mundane issues of our lives with a minimum $50 Amazon purchase nowadays? Jesus Christ, people. You have tools at your disposal for free and won't make you wait for shipping. I introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, to fingers and the trusty hand. Hell, even trusty forearm can come in handy when you need him to. All of these things can push books back. Oh my god.
I just bought these 2 claw clips from Haylo, and I was like, why was my total $84? It's kind of crazy for 2 claw clips. This blue one was $34, and it's like a limited edition color. Like, that's good, right? This clear one was $44 for a claw clip. And now I'm thinking like, well, I wasn't thinking when I bought it. I didn't even look at the price. And I saw the total and I was like, wait, I didn't like buy a sweatshirt.
She literally was like, this blue one, it was limited edition.
It was limited
like,
edition, so it definitely was more money. And I was like, wait, this one was more money. It was literally almost $50 for one claw clip. I'm keeping it, but like, I wasn't thinking. That's crazy.
I was thinking, well, I wasn't thinking.
I think some of us, and and this might be an unpopular opinion, but we need to start practicing the spending habits of our grandparents and our parents. Because now with everyone, especially the younger generations, incredibly careless spending on absolutely useless items that do not benefit our lives in any way, shape, or form, mixed with the price of a simple 3-bedroom, 1-story house being $1 million now, none of us will ever afford a house. Ever. It just goes to show you how if anything is for sale nowadays, no matter how egregious the price, there will always be someone out there who will buy it because they've seen an influencer wear it on TikTok, which means they must also spend $60 on something that a pack of $40 hair ties could do for just $4 just fine. What other generation in history before us has spent $84 on 2 claw clips? Exactly, silence. But our unbelievable spending on useless items doesn't even stop there, guys.
So, Starbucks cups. Okay, get ready, dust them off, wipe them down, all of that, right? Most of these are never even used. Each door has 100 cups on each side. There's 100 here, and if we were to open here, there's 100 here. $2,000 worth of cups on each side of the door. $4,000 worth of cups just on one door. Hold on. Another door. That's $8,000 worth of cups just in my kitchen. Mind you, I didn't even go into the cabinets where there's more cups and more Stanley cups. And then in the other cabinet, there's at least $10,000 worth of cups in my kitchen. Just Starbucks. You add in the Stanleys, this is about $1,800 worth of cups because a lot of them are Starbucks Stanley collection cups that I paid over $100 for because I had to have them. Oh my God.
I don't think I have any words for this one. With the $10,000 that was spent on those cups, I'm going to list what you could have done with that money instead. And you will see why society is such a mess nowadays. You could have paid down debt, no matter what the debt was. You could have put it into savings to put a deposit down on a new home. You could have bought a new car. You could have repaired issues around the house. You could have gotten on top of your utility bills and paid in advance if you wanted to. You could have gone grocery shopping for fresh produce, meat, eggs, and ingredients to meal prep that will last you a week because we all know how expensive groceries are nowadays. Or even taking your loved ones out to town for a night out that you'll all remember fondly for the rest of your lives and will continue to tell stories about for years to come. Not buying Starbucks cups that to this day you've still never used. If we ever want housing in the future, we are seriously going to have to sit down and reevaluate whether we need $84 worth of claw clips too, by the way, and $10,000 worth of Stanley cups that will never be used. Guys, I'm sorry to say, but that's the God's honest truth. My husband is finally upgrading his iPhone 8 with a home button, and all the employees are freaking out because they've never seen a home button before.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
The iPhone 8 was released in 2017. That was only 8 years ago, all right? Not even an entire decade ago. And we are already forgetting what a home button is and how to use one. I don't know if this just means we're all evolving way too damn fast for our own good and we need to slow down before we all combust on the spot, or if we're just becoming so brain rotted to the point where we can't even retain the knowledge on how to use older technology despite being alive for its release. To put this into context, the Walkman was released in 1979. 8 years after its release in 1987, people in that year still knew how to use a goddamn Walkman, even though new technology had come out since 1979. So what the hell is wrong with us? Why can't we do that? I went to Xfinity to change my mum's cable plan and they had to FaceTime a remote representative while we were in the store. Guys, this is genuinely most dystopian things I have ever seen. Is that not precisely what the Xfinity employees that work in the store were hired to do? Help people face to face? If you're just going to dump a customer in front of a screen as soon as they arrive, then what the hell is even the point of having physical stores open to begin with? I know for damn sure that there were employees in that Xfinity that were able to help, especially if they're putting customers in front of a virtual assistant all the time so they don't have to deal with them. So where have they all gone? Is it just company protocol to not help customers now and just chuck them on a computer? And it's insane because people will go into these providers to buy a new phone in the store so that they can walk out of the store with said phone like we've always been able to do, only to have the employee order it online for the customer and have it shipped to their house. Number one, that's not what the customer wanted. They wanted to walk out of the store with a new phone, not have to wait 5 days for it to be delivered by FedEx, because nobody wants to make purchasing something simple nowadays. And secondly, if the employee is just going to order the phone online, then we may as well just do that ourselves at home. So what is the goddamn point? I could have done that, but I wanted the phone this day. I just didn't think you guys would make me wait for it. Can you tell this has made me furious? POV, student rage is when you need 90% attendance to graduate. They say as the school forces these people to scan their goddamn fingerprints to prove they showed up for class.
What the hell? Oh my God, no.
This is their biometric data that is being used for school attendance. I didn't even see spooky things like this in sci-fi movies while I was growing up. So people, that is literally how you know that we are way too far gone to come back. Why are we immediately going to George Orwell tactics? Now, what happened to calling attendance at the beginning of the class before you dive into the lesson and confirming out loud whether or not the student attended class? Have we got Hayley Stewart present here? That's how you can confirm attendance. What happened to putting a sheet of paper on your desk and making the students in attendance sign their name with a pen to put on record that they were there for the lesson? Because if they weren't there to sign their name, then they weren't there at all. I mean, even something like the QR code scanning to confirm attendance, like we did during COVID just 5 years ago. Have we already given up on that despite it only being 5 years ago? In this literal decade, there are countless alternatives to proving attendance in class. Why the hell are we getting so goddamn scary about it? It'll never be that damn serious, I promise you that. POV, you found the 420 Labubu. I can't believe these words are about to come out of my mouth, but it's literally a Labubu that you can vape out of with CBD oil, with the caption saying, imagine ripping the Labubu yard. I actually feel my IQ going down recording this video. And people in the comments were saying they never buy a Labubu, but they buy a pen boo-boo.
Leave me alone!
This is a Frankenstein-esque abomination, and yet at the same time the most 2025 thing that you could possibly imagine. Like, that makes sense that it would exist in 2025, which says a lot about our current day society, that I should expect a Labubu vape. Like Marge Simpson said, if you don't laugh you'll cry, but I'm not laughing.
Walmart said ain't no more rollbacks, it's roll-ups. Like, how you go from $238 to $298 and you're advertising it?
Walmart? Come here. Who the hell is going to walk into your store to see that an item has increased in price and then say to themselves, oh nice, it's even more out of my budget now. Perfect. Oh, waiter, ring this TV up for me, please. Have any of y'all seen something like this before? Because in my 21 years of existence, I for damn sure haven't. I've seen discounts, but not reverse discounts. What the hell happened in in a week to make the same product increase to $300 when just 7 days earlier it was $60 less. How? Why? When are we going to stop calling this inflation to match the economy and start calling it for what it actually is? Walmart doing whatever the hell they want just because they know they can. Because that isn't inflation. That is give me $60 more now. That's what that is. Then we have some absolute bullshit like this. A fast food restaurant offering from the kindness of their hearts a free straw with your drink. Wow, what a deal. Do I get a cup with my drink too? And if I get the cup, do I get the lid as well? Do I get my food wrapped or will it just be thrown directly in a bag? If I get a bag, like do I get a paper bag to carry my food in now? Do I get my receipt for free too? That's how ridiculous this deal is. Because that's what you're supposed to give the customer.
Y'all, are we okay? Because I went to the craft store, to get glue and a seam ripper. Tell me why I walked out without one, because they did not have a seam ripper, but you know what they did have? A hamburger mug with a lid. This glass vase that was covered in rattan, put on with hot glue and already falling apart, and Halloween decorations in June. When did the craft store become more about consumerism than creativity?
Yes, it's actually horrible. I have such amazing memories of getting craft supplies at Michael's with my mum as a kid. It was affordable and pretty high quality. I went back recently for the first time in years and was absolutely appalled. It felt so trashy and completely soulless, all while having none of the actual supplies I needed for craft. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the very core problem of modern life. Back in the 90s and the early 2000s, you could go to a craft store and get exactly what you were looking for, because the point of that store's existence was to buy those specific items that you could not get at a Walmart or at a Target. And now it's not about a passion for arts and crafts. That's long gone. It is about consumerism and about selling as much garbage as humanly possible for a fraction of the cost to make a profit instead, because that takes less effort to do. Like, how do you, a craft store, not have something as simple as a seam ripper? Long-time customers complained that they went to the craft store for elastic and didn't have that, but hey, at least they had fake dogs dressed up for July 4th, am I right? Others complained that half of the tools that used to be available for purchase in store are now online exclusives for some reason. More had a problem with the fact that the sewing supplies were sitting in the far and dark corners of the store collecting dust, even though they should be the very first thing that you see in a craft store as you walk in. And finally, people having a problem with the fact that they have to supplement the lack of craft supplies at a craft stores on Amazon because they no longer provide what they originally sold for people. And the fact that they're already selling pumpkins for Halloween in the middle of the year when it isn't even August yet, but can't provide glue, says literally everything. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Mwah! I love you all so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.